I love auditioning, and I love competition in general. I just think it's fun. So.
Because that is the key feature of The Voice, as you say, is the fact that the image isn't important.
It's not leading it. Yeah, it's more of they're blind auditions in the beginning. So I think that that's why it's caught on like fire in the States. Like people love that you can't tell like what's going on behind you. You just really are listening to the voice.
But do you think that there is, you know, there's so much pressure on those who can sing brilliantly but maybe don't fit the mold?
Oh, I think that's been going on for years. You know, I mean, I think that's nothing new, and that's very much the industry, and I think that's why it's kind of a breath of fresh air, like with The Voice. I think people, it's just exciting to be like, I mean, you turn around and it's this little white dude that it like sounds like a big black soulful man, like, and you're like, how? I would never have thought that was going to come out of you, you know. So I think that's what's so captivating about the idea. Yeah. So
a lot of your songs, strikes me, are very powerfully performed, but they are tend to be either he done me wrong. He done me wrong. You know, you did me wrong, or I'm never going to see you again.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Very empowering.
But I was struck by the latest, your new single, because it says things like catching my breath, letting it go, turning my cheek for the sake of the show. It implies that there's a downside to being in your position. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a downside to y'all's job. You know, there's a downside to everyone's job, and you know, this one it's just under a microscope, so it's a little more intense, maybe. But well, not than yours. You're in TV as well, but it's just, I don't know. I think the whole point of it was, you know, there's a lot of things that you do not have control over, and as any 20-year-old, like, you know, all my 20s were the past decade, and I think it's just learning in your 20s to like let go of, I can't control everything. It's not in my power. I'm just going to enjoy the things that are great and maybe skip out on those and not even worry about it. So it's more of like just an understanding, I guess, and getting a little bit wiser about the industry, of the things that you can control and not control. So, yeah.
Taking you back 10 years, what would you have been like before American Idol? Who was Kelly Clarkson before the break?
I'm like completely the same. No, that's what people will say, like, that I run into from Idol, because the crew kind of works all the award shows over there, so we always see each other. Right. And you know, everybody's always like, "Oh my God, you're so funny!" Like, I still show up in curlers, like when they come on, and like slippers, looking like a hot mess, like for like rehearsals, and like, you know, usually all the girls are done up and da da da. I'm like, it's rehearsals. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm going to do that for the show, you know.
That's perfectly
I'm the same
acceptable.
Girl, so yeah.
Good. Lots of questions from your fans this morning. We've only got time for one or two. Broadway, Oliver says, have you ever been approached to do Broadway?
Yes, and I love it, and I'm very interested in it. It's a timing thing. I don't want to be one of the people that, which is cool, like, that people go in and out of shows that are already existing. I'd really like to do something from the ground up.
Does that imply that you'd like to develop your talent, move on from being a pop star?
Not necessarily move on, no, just like it's another color of my personality. I grew up doing musical theater and operas, and it's just another side of me that people might not know. And yeah, no, ever since I saw Les Mis as a kid and Phantom of the Opera, I was like, oh, I'm going to do something like that one day. So.